The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome to another episode of The Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Butler. This is episode 104. I want to thank you guys for joining me once again. It's great to be back. I know I haven't been gone on the channel, on the podcast, but I've been gone because the studio took a break. So the last few episodes we recorded, pre-recorded a couple of weeks in advance. So it's great to be back. I'm happy to be back with you guys. Thank you for supporting the podcast in English. I realize that a lot of our audience is based in Latin America. So thank you so much for taking the time to support this and listen to this English podcast. I'm really excited because I'm actually, I know you can tell if you're watching me on YouTube, but I'm not in the studio. By the way, please take this time to like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, tell your friends, share the episode. The more that we can get this shared, the easier it is for me to pay my staff, the guys that do the editing on this, the artwork and all of that. And I can get better if I have more funding. I never really wanted to ask for funding as far as Patreon or anything that way. I do this 100% voluntarily because I like doing it. And as long as you will listen, we'll be here. With that being said, I'm really excited. I'm not home. I'm actually on a construction project. A lot of you guys know that I also work in construction. I've been working in construction since I was 12 years old. And I have this project out here in Lake Placid, New York. It's important to say Lake Placid, New York, because there's a Lake Placid, Florida. And so people assume that I'm in Florida, but no, I'm up here in upstate New York. And when I say New York, a lot of people assume I'm in New York City, but I'm actually about 5 hours north of New York City. And I'm in a pretty unique location. If you look at the map of the United States, it has that arm that sticks out in the northeast. Well, I'm actually up close to Canada, kind of beside Canada, and there's Canada above us as well. So we're kind of like right there, close to the Canadian border. I think it's 2 hours to Montreal from where I'm at driving. So I plan to go check that out. But I decided to make today's episode about Lake Placid because I learned so much about this place, and I think it's amazing. On the surface, when I say Lake Placid, people assume I'm talking about the movie Lake Placid. Now, that movie Lake Placid came out in 1999. I was already 20 years old or 19 years old. Was not interested in watching Lake Placid. No, actually, I was older than that. It's like 24 years old. That was not a movie I was going to go watch. I didn't watch that one. I didn't watch Anaconda. I didn't watch any of those movies because that's not, I don't know, it assaults my intelligence. I don't know, just not my thing. I watched Jaws as a kid. I thought it was awesome. What's interesting, and this is a weird fact, is that although the movie is called Lake Placid, it has nothing to do with Lake Placid, New York, but it kind of does. The actual movie was set in Maine, which is not far from here, in a different lake. Black Lake was the name of the lake, and people don't understand why the movie was called Lake Placid if it didn't happen in Lake Placid and it wasn't supposed to be Lake Placid. They never said it was Lake Placid, except for I guess it was Bill Pullman, who played the game warden. I'm not sure, but whoever the game warden was makes one statement in the movie where he says, yeah, we wanted to name this place Lake Placid, but it was taken. Not referring to Lake Placid, New York. So I think that's pretty crazy that the movie's theme and title was named Lake Placid when it had nothing to do with it except for one little comment about there being a Lake Placid. That's weird. This is a vacation destination for a lot of people. This is a vacation destination, obviously in the summertime, because it's a great place to be. Lake Placid is beautiful. I feel like I'm in a Bob Ross painting. Every time I get up, morning, I walk outside, I look outside, I'm in a Bob Ross painting. There's a lot of happy little trees. And if you follow me on social media, you'll see that I've been posting some pictures about stuff. It's just incredible. And the pictures don't even do the justice to the reality of it. Now, I'm in an area in the United States called the Adirondacks. Now, the Adirondacks is a chain of mountains, but it's not really a chain because the Rocky Mountains is a chain, for example. The Appalachians are a chain. Well, this is an area full of mountains, and they're not really in a line. They're kind of scattered in a dome, is what I had read. So that makes me think they're kind of in a circular pattern, kind of growing out, and they're considered like the youngest mountains in the United States. When I say youngest, I'm talking about billions of years old, but they're still very young in comparison to some of the other mountain chains, according to geologists. Now, there's 100 different peaks here. That's 100 different peaks. I know that there's a 46ers club, which refers to the 46 main peaks that everybody climbs. You can be part of the ADK 46ers if you decide I want to climb 46 peaks. Some of these peaks are easy, some are hard, but hiking is a big thing here. Also, something that's an amazing fact is that as small as this town is, this is where the U.S. Winter Olympic training facilities are. This is like the main place. People come here. I was driving on the road and I saw that they had the ski jump, which is wow. I remember watching that as a kid on TV, and those guys would come down that ramp and just, well, this is one of those places. So it's amazing. Now, you're saying, okay, Sam, that's cool. I'm glad you're having a good time on your vacation. I'm glad it's going good. And I'm going like, no, there's some weird facts about this place that I think are worthy of an episode. For example, vacation, the word. It is attributed to this place, Lake Placid and the surrounding areas. Why? Because if you go to Europe or you talk to someone who's European, and they'll tell you that this is a great talking point. You want to start up a conversation, I recommend you talk about this, because Europeans, people around the world, when they go out of town with their families, they go on holiday. I've heard that on the news, like BBC News and all these different news channels, and I never understood why they say holiday. Although it's a language thing. I mean, they say bin, we say trash can. But they say holiday and we say vacation. Where did vacation come from? Well, they credit this area for that word because at the turn of the century, in the 20th century, you had you had the Industrial Revolution. You had all these millionaires, and a lot of them were living in New York City, like the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts, and they got sick of living in the city, so they'd take a summer holiday to the mountains, to the fresh air, to this area. And what happened is people in New York would say they vacated the city. Everybody vacated the city. They went on vacation. And that's how that word came to be, vacation. That's blew my mind. That's a great pub conversation, by the way. Bring it up next time you're drinking with a buddy and you want to say, hey, you know where the word vacation comes from? I guarantee it'll be awesome. So that's one weird fact. Another weird fact is that there's over 2,000 miles of hiking. 2,000 miles of hiking. And it's incredible to think that you can fit 2,000 miles of hiking trails in this area. But there is. And this was even like, blew my mind even more. There's 30,000 miles. 30,000 miles of waterways in this area. To put that into perspective, I drove here with my construction equipment from El Paso, and it was like 4,000 miles. There's 30,000 miles of waterways here. That's incredible. And you see people fishing. Man, I want to get some pictures of people fly fishing and these beautiful rivers. I mean, you literally fly fishing, canoeing, kayaking. It's impressive. And then you say, oh, that's awesome. But in the wintertime, everything freezes over. Well, you have ice skating. People are ice skating. People are doing. This became also the first place in the United States or in the world, I guess United States, to be a vacation destination in the winter, a winter wonderland. Why? And this is like another weird fact. Depending on how old you are, you might not know this, but or maybe in Latin America this isn't the case, but in the United States, when we would go to the library, you would use a system called the Dewey Decimal System, and that's how you were able to find a book. It was a filing system for books and reference libraries and so on and so forth. Well, the guy that invented the Dewey Decimal System's name was actually Melville Dewey. Well, Melville Dewey was from here, Lake Placid. Well, he lived here in Lake Placid, and he invented the Dewey Decimal System, which isn't used anymore. We have technology, but that was something we grew up with. Well, a weird fact is that he actually also was accredited the fact that this place became a winter vacation destination because he had the idea that business shouldn't stop, that life shouldn't stop as soon as the snow started to fall. So what he did is he ordered a bunch of exercise equipment, sports equipment from Europe, and had it imported here. And he started offering opportunities for people to go and do stuff in the winter. And this became a hot spot for vacation in the wintertime. And that's why there's a huge toboggan sled slide here. And you look at it, it's this huge slide that you get on a toboggan. And I'm assuming that this is, I'm not assuming, I know that this is during the wintertime because it's got snow. You go down the slide onto the pond, onto the lake, and it's amazing. Something that was also a very weird fact, I thought, wow, that's incredible. That you never think about this when you grow up in the Southwest like I did. But here, when it freezes, everything freezes, even waterfalls. So what happens is you actually have ice climbers that will climb up the face of a waterfall that's frozen. Now, how cool is that? So that's another weird fact. You probably never, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Maybe I'm just ignorant. But to sit and talk to somebody and go, hey, you know that there's people that actually climb waterfalls? It's pretty cool. So that's a weird fact. Now, there's so much to cover here, and we got so little time. I really think you should, one, look it up. Two, if you have a chance to come out and check it out. Three, learn, love, travel. I mean, that's what it's all about. I know I'm here on a construction project, but I really, really enjoy every aspect of being in this new environment. Now, speaking of Winter Olympics, this is a place, one of the three places in the world that had the Winter Olympics twice. It was in 1932 and in 1980. Now, what's special about the 1980 Olympics, and a lot of you guys will remember, is that that's the year that Disney movie was based on, that talked about the U.S. hockey team beating the Russian team. Now, it was a big deal. This was 1980. The Russian team was undefeated. They had not undefeated. They had like four-time world champions, and they were the best at hockey in the 80s. And the United States had a hockey team made of amateurs and rookies and new guys. And it was the real big underdog. It was like, this team is not going to make it. And somehow this team pulled it off, winning the gold medal, beating the Russians here in Lake Placid in 1980. That was a big, big victory for the Cold War. And you can still go down on Main Street here and buy memorabilia. Well, it's sports memorabilia. It's modernized, but it's all based on the 1980 miracle here on Miracle on the Ice, I think is what they call it here, which is pretty cool. The Olympic training facilities are here. They're amazing. It's amazing. I'll put some pictures up on my Instagram and so on and so forth. Now, something that's awesome about this place is that they love Halloween. As a matter of fact, Travel and Leisure magazine named this the number one spot for Halloween in the United States. Everybody trick or treats, everybody decorates, everybody goes all out. Halloween is the holiday. I know my friends at Leyendas Legendarias would probably enjoy coming here for Halloween. They do everything Halloween. There's actually a train that takes you on a tour because this was a mining town when it first started out. They were mining iron, and so there's trains. There's a train tour where they Halloweenize it. Is that the right way to say it? They Halloweenize it for Halloween. They have plays. I mean, they go all out for Halloween. Haunted tours, everything. So that's awesome. But the weirdest fact, the fact that I thought, wow, or not that it's weird, it's kind of interesting, is that this town, when it was founded, was a mining town, but it had an early settler named Garrett Smith. He moved in 1845 with 6 different families. They moved to town, and they bought up a ton of property. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres, thousands of acres. I don't know exactly. I'm doing you a disservice because I don't know the exact number, but it was thousands of acres of land. They bought it, and they happened to be abolitionists. Now, for people that don't know what abolitionists are, they're people who wanted to abolish slavery in the United States before it was popular to abolish slavery. So what he did, Garrett Smith did, is he made land available to former slaves, whether they escaped or not escaped, that was none of his business, but he would sell them land, which was a big deal for the 1840s, 1850s, to have a white man sell you a piece of property and put it in your name and so on and so forth, and not trying to take it. But they did that. It even got the attention of iconic anti-slavery movement, John Brown. He's an icon of that whole movement. He moved his family here from Kansas and took the opportunity to actually come down here and buy land. He later was, I believe, executed or murdered. I don't know. But he ended up being buried in his Lake Placid home by his wife. And so it's amazing. This place is awesome. If you get a chance, check it out. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode. That's it for this episode. There's so much more to talk about, but I'm out of time. Thank you once again. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Leave your comments. If you've been up here, let me know. If you're coming up here, let me know. Maybe we can go get a beer or something, because I don't know anybody here. But thank you guys. That's it for this episode of the Shit Podcast. We'll catch you next week.